And we might get some new people in here tonight because I did a lot of work at the Think Bold conference. So if we get some strangers in here tonight, we want to make sure that we let them know that Thursday next week. When is that? What date is that? Thursday, the 23rd of April. We back. We back on ESPN Radio. Got to pay the bills. Got to find a way to do it. No excuses. Yeah. So guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is us at night on a Friday, right? Just out here, just hanging out. You know, I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a while. Scott, you doing okay? Everything's all right. Good to see you.
Day by day, man. Day by day, hanging in.
Of course,
trying to get through what I get through. So,
hey, and look, I'm appreciative of your time, sir. And then of course, Alan, Mr. I got a job. Steady working all the time, aka several shows also. How's that Diamond Talk working out for you? Y'all enjoying baseball talking on Wednesdays?
I mean, yeah, once we can get together. Obviously, there's a lot going on between us, but do want to say we got a new intro, we got a new look, and I can't wait to show it off because I've already seen it, and I think I showed you, Scott, and you, Jonathan, the logo for the show in the group chat. So, but yeah, Tanner's already got an intro in there for us, so I'm excited to show that off.
I will be back Wednesday. I'll be back Wednesday. So,
yeah, big shout out to y'all for putting that together. Got the intro going. I can't wait to see it. Of course, you know how it is, man. Right now is one of those times where it's a great time to be a sports fan. We getting basketball in the playoffs. Baseball's warming up. Football technically somewhat kind of around the corner, with the draft. So we get like a spike of football and on top of everything else. I'm excited, man. But right now, of course, it's Friday night, guys. We doing In the Hoop right here on the Rec Room Sports Hub, and it's ridiculous how things have changed so fast in about 2 weeks. Big shouts out to, of course, we were doing the NCAA tournament last time, guys. UCLA women, of course, pulling off. I don't want to say the big upset, but just pulling off the victory, pulling off the W. I thought that was a big thing. Scott, I believe you were one of the people to call that. Especially I know you said they were going to be Texas, but the UConn, I was worried about what was going to happen if UConn somehow beat Carolina, and made it to the finals, of course. But then, on the men's side, right? Who knew? Did anybody predict what was going to happen on the men's side?
There's three things you can guarantee: death, taxes, and Danny Hurley covering in the NCAA tournament. It just happens all the time. He's undefeated from Sweet 16 on. I thought it was going to be a close game. I took UConn with the points. Danny Hurley figures out a way every time to keep these games close. So, I mean, look at the Duke game. They're down 19. They came all the way back and won that game. So, I mean, he's one of the top coaches in the country. And he's top 3 coach, I think. He knows how to prepare his teams. He's a great coach.
Definitely top 3. And it's wild to say that. Hey, look, even if the women, UConn women teams didn't win, we got to see a different side of Gino Auriemma for like a week. He was a villain. Somebody's got to be the bad guy. So let the old bad guy go ahead and get it in. So UConn's program is going to be good for generations to come. There's nothing to worry about there. But UCLA's women, we will. Big shouts out to Mia O'Brien, who we got an opportunity to speak with on ESPN 690 a week or so ago. She told us there were going to be 4 women from that UCLA team who were going to be in the WNBA draft, and she was right. Okay, UCLA, out here matching and competing with the UConns of old, with 4 women in the lottery going in the WNBA draft into the new era of the WNBA as well. So I'm excited about that. So guys, we get into 5 minutes, so we might as well go ahead and do the intro and get right to it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome, 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 everyone, everyone, everyone. This is the Rec Room Sports Hub. We are live in full effect on a Friday night, and we're going to do In the Hoop, just a little impromptu In the Hoop, nothing too crazy. Got a lot of basketball going on right now, so we kind of want to do this and then get back to it before it's all said and done. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, I got my Uncle Scott Cole with the Bill. Uncle Scott, how we feeling? Everything's all right?
Everything's going as well as it could be. So doing good. Happy to be here.
For sure. And then, of course, we got AP Allen Perales right there within the building. What are we doing, AP?
I mean, that Paul George trade continues to look better and better every day.
Every day, Paul George somehow finds a way to show up. And of course, y'all know me, man. It's your boy K-Wit, your mama's #1 draft pick. And I found a way to rewind time, and not with my DVR. No. I rewound it just a little bit to see Steph Curry look like Steph Curry. But anyway, before we get into it, man, I want to make sure you guys know right about now, you want to make sure you follow us on all social media outlets. Look for us on YouTube. That's at the THEE Rec Room Sports Hub. Make sure you follow us there. And then, of course, on all the socials, we got the Instagram, we got the X, we got, what TikTok. We got the TikTok too. We're going to start expanding a little bit, but we want to make sure that everybody knows Thursdays on ESPN 690. You can catch us right here, not only on the airways, but also live as well. And it's crazy just to say that somehow, some way, really, we are already getting towards one of my favorite times of NBA basketball, where the playoffs are at hand, and this year seems to not be holding back any punches. It's already going. The play-in is alive and well. David Stern he looks like a genius again. And there were plenty of us 5 years ago who going, I don't know. They want to have a tournament at the beginning of the season, and they want to have teams fighting for the AFC. Who wants to play for the AFC? Apparently, they got some. There are some teams who want to be eight, who want to make sure that they don't care who they play, and they're playing their hearts out right now in one somewhat of a winner take all style of basketball. And Scott. So as we got a chance to just breeze over it a little bit, like it's wild to see that these things have happened in this fashion so quickly in 2 days, and now we're almost on like day 3.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the first set of playing games. Charlotte scored like crazy against Miami and won that game in overtime in a great playing game, probably the best playing game we've had since its inception. And Orlando looked like trash against Philadelphia. And tonight, what happens? Orlando looks phenomenal, and Charlotte looks like the trash team. So, and then Portland comes all the way back against Phoenix and wins that game, and they were down by a bunch. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we've had great playing games, and Steph Curry. I mean, you say play in the playoff, Steph Curry's ears perk up, and he starts shooting threes like he's 26 years old again and hitting them. So, I think Golden State wins tonight. I think Golden State gets into the playoffs. So,
well, here's the thing, Scott. To kind of a little bit of an irony to your first comment about the East playing game. Right now, the Suns are up 25-14. Okay. So, the Suns came out with fire again. It's like you said with they blew that lead against Portland, and Portland ended up taking advantage of it. Steph Curry was Steph Curry. Now all of a sudden, the Suns look like the best team out of this grouping, and for some reason, the Warriors are struggling early. So. But it should be entertaining, especially if Steph finds that groove that he did in the first game. Yeah. It's going to be an entertaining finish for sure.
Now, guys, before we get too deep into it, I want to just take a step back and talk about something that happened at the end of the season. We all have been talking ad nauseum about one player in a Northern American region team, and that would be Giannis Antetokounmpo. And the Doc Rivers-led Milwaukee Bucks, who subsequently came to an agreement and said they were going to part ways. They fancily worded it. They said, "Oh, they're separating. Oh, they came to an agreement." Blah blah blah. Now, I just want everybody to hear me out. Hear me out real quick, right? Doc Rivers' overall head coach record of the Milwaukee Bucks is 97-103. Right? 97-103. A difference of 6 games, 48% win percentage, right? And 97 wins, 103 losses. What made the Bucks regress under Doc Rivers? And guys, somewhere in my mind, it makes me think back to the style of play that they were playing, and then all of a sudden, Doc Rivers comes in and changes a little bit.
That's just it. I mean, you remember we went all the way back to Adrian Griffin, and what happened there? Doc Rivers got rid of him, got him fired. And then Doc came in and said, "Oh, I'm Doc Rivers. I'm just going to put my system in, and these guys are going to have to adjust to it." It's a players' league now. It's not a coaches' league anymore. It's a players' league. And you have to adjust your coaching style to what the players can and can't do. And I don't think Doc Rivers ever did. And I think that's where he went wrong. And then Giannis gets hurt, and, your best player gets hurt, you're going to suffer. And sure enough, he suffered. And this Giannis mess, it might settle itself down now. Now Doc's gone. I have a feeling Doc might be a little bit of the genesis of all these problems with Giannis. So we'll see. We'll see. But I just think Doc didn't adjust to the players. And that's the problem.
If you remember too, Scott, this all started because Giannis wasn't happy with the current regime that he had, even after winning a world championship.
Yep.
So the Bucks decided to make a change per, obviously you mentioned that it's a players' league. Then they fulfilled Giannis's wishes. They made the coaching change. They brought Doc in. And then when Doc tried to put it, like you said, when he tried to put his system in, it just didn't work.
Right.
It didn't work. Giannis looked completely different. He looked vulnerable at times. The Bucks were kind of a shell of themselves, especially the last couple of years, to the point where they had to trade some of their better players, and that really hurt their roster. I mean, to me, losing Drew Holiday really was the first domino effect.
Yeah.
Once he got traded, that's when you started to see the kinks in the Bucks roster. That's when you started to see, maybe this team isn't as good as what we thought it was.
Yep.
And then, other teams in the East kind of started to take advantage of that. And then, of course, Drew Holiday now he's having success elsewhere. Meanwhile, the Bucks are still at home, one of the first teams to be eliminated this postseason, and it's sad. It's crazy. I'm not trying to compare it. It's almost kind of like, I know we talked about this on our baseball show, Scott. It's almost kind of like what happened to the White Sox.
Yeah.
Where they were a 90-win team that looked like they were a young team. They were destined for greatness. They could control the AL Central for years. And then one little change, one little mistake, they completely fell off the face of the map and were the worst team in MLB history. That's almost what we've kind of seen with the Bucks in the NBA, is that they've went from the highest of highs, winning an NBA title, to now you're picking in the lottery and you're about to lose your star player.
I mean, the other thing I'll say is keep an eye on the salary cap. So Milwaukee's right up against it too, I believe. They paid Bobby Portis a ton of money. To do what? To come off the bench and play 19 minutes a game? Doesn't work for me. I mean, you're paying Giannis a lot. You're paying Portis a lot. Chris Middleton, not in Milwaukee anymore. He was a casualty of this. So their team has really regressed in a major way. And it might take too long to come back. So.
Yeah, for me, it's one of those things where, you guys made some great points, right? So 2 things. One, Scott, you said it's a players' league. The system should be dictated by who is on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to say that I don't love Bobby Portis when he's playing, but Bobby Portis, I think deserves more of a different type of role than what he has been playing.
Yeah.
And to say that, oh well, well, who are we going to depend on to do the other bulk of the scoring when we can't depend on Giannis? Well, Gary Trent Jr. underperformed. Let's just say that. Like, I feel like we were anticipating, you know, 6 man of the year type numbers from him, maybe. And for especially with how he looked previously, when he was in Toronto, we was thinking, hey, look at him back there, right now he's somewhere around like 8-9 points. He's got a lot to live up to because if I'm not mistaken, he's got some way he's got a player's option that he's going to be looking at. But Scott, and Alan, you mentioned it too. One of the biggest things I think is, especially from that regime, that we was prior to now. I don't think Drew Holiday's presence can be quantified. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't think you can say, like, put a number on what Drew Holiday does good for the team. All right, he's playing defense. We know that. Okay. Yeah. What else does he do? He plays point guard. Okay. Does he distribute the ball? Yeah, he distributed the ball, right? Did he lock up your best play on the opposite team? Mm-hmm. Sure did that. Rebound a little bit. Yep. Brings the ball up the court. Like, there was a bunch of stuff, I think, especially in that starting lineup, that I think Drew Holiday covered up a lot of holes, and this is really talking about 2 seasons later. And at the same time, we can't not mention Coach Bud. It's one of those things where, you think the grass is greener on the other side sometimes. And even though Coach Bud, especially coming from Atlanta, has had noted issues, personal, nonetheless, he's had an episode of life in which an episode of life in which he can't remember, like, it's okay. I think in reality, you got to say, hey, look, when we had him, he was all right. Yeah. He was doing pretty good. But now, it's apples to oranges. Hold on one second. Let me see something, guys. Keep going.
All right. And you also remember, Alan, if you guys remember correctly, when Drew Holiday got traded out of Milwaukee to Portland, what was Milwaukee's response? Oh, no, he's going to Boston. They knew he was going to Boston. And when he went to Boston, they won a title. So, again, to Whit's point, Drew Holiday is a major reason why the Bucks are in the position they're in right now. And plus Giannis being injured, and plus the chemistry on that team not jiving together. So Milwaukee's got a lot to do. And then their ownership says, we'll bring in his brother, we'll play his brother a lot, or we'll play his brother. That'll smooth it over. No, it doesn't smooth it over. It does not smooth it over. No. Giannis, there was too many problems for Giannis to say, oh, my brother's playing now. Now I'll come back to Milwaukee because my brother is on the team and he's going to play. There's many more problems than that behind the scenes.
And listen, and I was going to bring that up. I commend the Milwaukee Bucks hierarchy for doing literally everything they thought would help. Everything. Drew Holiday's gone. Sorry, Giannis. Here comes Damian Lillard. Didn't work out, right?
Right.
Giannis, your parents, your family is, it's a basketball family. Okay, great. Well, we'll give your brother the 2-way contract to our G League affiliate. Yep. We'll leave the other brother, who's the oldest. We'll leave him on the bench. He could be the 10th, 12th, 11th, 14th man. We don't mind that. He's actually pretty good when he's playing for, his country. We've seen that. The other brother gets drafted by LA, which at the time had one of the, I think, if not one or two of the assistant coaches from the championship team on the LA roster. So the other brother technically gets drafted based on, just like 3 degrees of separation from Milwaukee. Like, it's not so bad. Like, they tried everything, but I think this is, and we're going to move on after this. I think this is the signal right here. You know,
Yeah.
it's time to move on. Doc Rivers is gone. Hey, let's do the right thing. Let's let Giannis use that no trade clause. Let's write down 4 destinations, and let's give him away. Let's send him to Miami. Send him to Miami. Let's send him to,
Minnesota.
let's send him to Minnesota. Let's send him to maybe Sacramento. You know what I'm saying? Places where the bodies and the money will match, because that's a lot of things. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, New York, New York, New York." Well, if New York does it, they're going to have to give up Karl Anthony Towns and somebody, and somebody. So I don't think. But other places, you're going to give up star player 1 and 2 future draft picks. I like that. Maybe even 3.
What Milwaukee needs to do is they need to look at teams like Portland, Houston, OKC, teams that got younger, teams that built from within. Golden State started it all those many years ago. That's what they need to do. They need to, yes, like you said, find a suitable trade partner for Giannis where maybe they can get a lot of picks in. Obviously that team's going to have to give up a lot of capital to get Giannis. So maybe stock some of those, get some more bodies in that locker room, guys that will fit the mold of how you want to build this program going forward.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine Giannis in OKC? Oh my God.
Oh,
I don't want him. I don't want him, if I'm being honest.
Hey, I don't think they do either. But
who's got the picks? OKC.
Yeah. They do.
Maybe they throw in a 3-team deal. Maybe they do a 3-team deal. OKC gives up a pick or 2, and then Giannis ends up in New Orleans or something like that.
Technically, we have a chance to have the number 1 pick this year. So if the Bucks want to give us a call.
Right. Boozer on OKC with that team. Holy moly.
Ladies and gentlemen, blame the LA Clippers because, again, I alluded to it earlier. If they don't, because originally what that deal was, it was a sign and trade so that they could get Kawhi Leonard. They wanted to get Kawhi Leonard, so what did they do? They're like, okay, what do you want? I want Paul George. So they made the deal with OKC to get Paul George, which involved trading away Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and a lot of draft capital to get Paul George into LA to team with Kawhi Leonard, who, by the way, Paul George is in Philadelphia right now in the postseason, and Kawhi Leonard is in the tail end of his career at this point, it seems like. So, yeah, I guess this is the NBA's version of the Herschel Walker trade, I think. So,
yeah, I think it is too. I think you're right, Alan.
And it couldn't have happened to a better organization, right, than the LA Clippers.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Speaking of which, we might as well go ahead and get right into it, guys. So, now that we're going to leave Giannis in Milwaukee alone to secretly part ways and figure out a way to amicably separate, let's talk about that last playing game, guys. It was a wild one when you realize that the Golden State Warriors have not won in the new LA Clippers arena for the last 8 games. They have lost, and they come into the play-in with a rejuvenated, re-energized Kawhi Leonard and LA Clipper team who have been playing well with the addition of Darius Garland. And then somehow, some way, we wake up the beast, man. The beast, the baby-faced assassin known as Steph Curry. Somehow, some way, it's wild to think that, this man sat out, I think, just about all the games except for the last 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Got some warming, played with minutes restriction, got in, warmed up. I don't think it was one of his best performances in the first half, but all of a sudden, the battery was put in by Draymond Green like usual, and it turns into a whole nother thing. Steph Curry puts on the cape, comes out of the what is it, the phone booth, and turns into his old self. Steph Curry with 35. I mean, elite efficiency, a historic performance. You had to kind of watch it. 27 in the second half. And then of course, somehow, some way, we can't forget that Kawhi Leonard was on the other side of the floor. Like, we're talking a lot about Steph Curry, but one of the better two-way players in our generation, the last decade, was on the other side of the floor and was shut out by one of the best. Somebody said it, the best defender that they've ever seen, that they've ever coached or played with, was over there locking them down. So this right here is what I think we're going to remember the most about getting into the playoffs. Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers, who actually looked pretty good, pretty much almost all season. When I say pretty good, I'm talking about decent all season. Coming into this game at about 42-40, 23-18 at home, which is extremely good. End up losing by 5 when Steph Curry loses it and goes off in between the third and the fourth. This has to be something we're going to be talking about for a long time.
Yeah, and I think that Steph Curry didn't come back just to get in the playing game and then in the first game say, all right, hey, Coach Kerr, play me 25, 26 minutes. If we win, we win. If we lose, we. He didn't come back for that. He came back to get in the playoffs and try to beat OKC or San Antonio, try to figure a way out. They're down right now, as Alan said. But that first game, not only did Steph Curry show up, Kristaps Porzingis showed up in that game.
Yeah.
20 points in 28 minutes. I'm looking at the box score now. Santos, 20 points. Al Horford just did Al Horford things, 4 for 7 from 3, 14 points.
Efficient, right?
Efficient. I mean, this is just what these guys do on Golden State. Now, asking them to turn around and win another game and get into the playoffs on a one-day layoff is a tough thing to do, especially with these guys. Porzingis we saw him once in 2 weeks for Golden State, and then he comes back for the playing game, and he's probably not going to be effective if he's playing tonight. But kudos to Golden State for going into LA and doing what nobody expected them to do. I didn't hear anybody give a reason why Golden State would win that game. I heard all about the Clippers that day. Nothing on Golden State. Kudos to Steph Curry. He said, guys, I'm talking about us. I got something for you guys. Just watch this. And Steph Curry did Steph Curry things. But he drags his team when he does stuff like this. He drags his team to play better. And that's what Steph Curry, and that's the magic of Steph Curry. He drags his Golden State Warriors team to play better and to be good in certain stretches in games when they need it the most. So, again, Steph Curry's the leader of that team. If anybody had any doubts, he's the best shooter in the NBA. Best
shooter.
Sorry to the other players that are in there. He's the best shooter in the NBA.
Yeah. And literally, when it's all said and done, more than likely the best shooter of all time.
Yep.
All time.
Yep.
Alan, 10 cents. Go ahead.
So, yeah, it's almost like a nostalgia act in a way, because let's face it, the Warriors on paper this year haven't been great. They've been subpar at best. But to see Steph Curry do what he did the other night, it's almost like a turning back of the clock, as we mentioned before. And it's also like we know time's running out for these guys. We know these guys are going to be on their way out pretty soon. It just gives you a little taste of, hey, remember what Steph used to do every single night? Go out there, put on a show, put up 20, 30, 40 points a night, and literally hit from anywhere in the court. He could take a shot from the parking lot and not even hit the rim. That's just how good he was. Like you said, he's one of the best shooters, if not the greatest shooter of all time. And he proved that the other night. And, again, the Clippers, you want to talk about their history of bad playoff moments. That's one they're going to want to forget. But, it's great to see as somebody and as a group who kind of grew up with these guys and, saw these guys come up in the league from, Curry's days at Davidson and what he did in the NCAA tournament up to what he's doing now and becoming one of the greatest players of all time. I mean, even if we don't know when his career will end, but he's not going to go out without swinging at the very least. So if we see more of these down the line, Golden State, despite what their record may say, they'll still be a dangerous out in the playoffs.
And Winton Allen, I'm sorry. If Golden State's within 10 points going in the fourth quarter tonight, sorry, Phoenix. You're not winning that game. Curry will find a way to win that game.
Yeah, man. You're right. Anything under 15, yeah, watch it back. Watch it back. Close out hard. Fight over the I don't care who it is. Fight over that screen. When it comes to the literal ideal like player / playmaker that you want to have on a team, like Draymond Green does not come to mind like immediately,
right?
You know, but I've talked about it a lot of times on this show. I joke about it, but like I hate that bounce pass. I hate it. It's the dribble. It's not. It's a DHO. It's a dribble handoff. But instead of the dribble handoff happen immediately, you know, Curry will run back around Draymond, and before Curry can even think, the ball has hit the ground and it's in his hands. It's a shot. You know, and they've practiced it. I would really imagine millions of times by now. You know, so they got the timing so good. So, you know, if you think you're in front of Steph on this side, just wait till he goes back across Draymond's green body one more time, and you got to, you know, try and fight over the screen again. Technically, the ball's already in the air, and Draymond does not get enough credit for facilitating the actions. You know, he's a connector when he's playing peak Draymond. He's the emotional spark, the elite defense on Kawhi. Those last two steals, okay, like when I say perfect timing, and they did not involve him fouling, okay, that's defense. That is first team all defense. That is, you know what I'm saying, defensive player of the year status. Because when it all mattered, of course, you know, me, us, everybody, we're thinking about the points that Steph Curry scored, but without Draymond Green, that would not even have happened. You know, big shouts out to Kristaps and Al Horford, two other guys who, of course, are champions that came from the Celtics together. You know, it was made for them to take advantage of. Draymond Green is not the tallest guy. He's one of the smartest though. So he knew, hey, you know, Porzingis, get in the paint and just turn around. Just go down there and turn around. Al Horford, pick and pop. You love that, don't you? Stand over there. Like it happened in such a fashion where, you know, I don't even think that I was realizing that Golden State was catching up. You know what I mean? It looked so smooth, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're right there within, you know, 5 points. And the game turned around on 2 steals, 2 defensive plays by Draymond Green, and then Steph Curry took over. That was it. And just like you say, Scott, if the score is anywhere within almost 15 points, really.
Goodbye, Phoenix.
Goodbye,
Phoenix. It was nice seeing you.
If he's got that mouthpiece hanging out the side of his mouth, and he's running back and forth, you know. I was watching, you know, a podcast, and guys were talking about chasing Rip Hamilton. How much Rip Hamilton would run? Rip Hamilton would run, but I don't think Rip Hamilton was moving like this, you know.
Nope.
And Chauncey Billups can pass. Don't get me wrong, but Chauncey's not hitting it like how it's happening right now with those guys. So, you know, once again, big shouts out to the Warriors who are actually playing right now. We'll get some more heads up about that in just a moment.
Steph literally watched Ray Allen highlights. Is like, I want to be able to do that, but
I want to do anywhere. Ray Allen stuff.
I want to do that, but from anywhere on the court.
Anywhere on the court. Yeah.
I heard a stat today. Steph Curry on bounce passes, when he shoots, under 2 seconds, he has the ball. Under 2 seconds. It's amazing.
Blinking, the ball is out of his hands, bro.
It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other games I think really caught my attention, just like we kind of alluded to a little bit, where the Magic lost to the 76ers. I hate the fact that we're watching the 76ers without Joel Embiid.
I know.
I hate it. Like, don't get me wrong. They won that game. They won it, and in a sense, they won it handily. Orlando didn't play up to the par. You know, a lot of emphasis on Paolo Banchero and his participation, going 7 of 22. Franz Wagner going 5 of 11. Desmond Bain did the best he could. Wendell Carter Jr. did the best he could. But, I can't imagine Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, BJ Edgecombe, probably Kelly Oubre around either playing like the 4 or the 3, depending on, how they, do the rotation. And a healthy Embiid would have turned this game completely loose. But, say la vie, I guess, they won, they move on. And then, we get an opportunity to see what this is going to look like for the 76ers as they get ready to go. But then they turn right back around and we get a chance to watch the Orlando Magic straight throttle the Charlotte Hornets. And so let's go ahead and get into that one real quick, guys.
Can I ask you guys something real quick? Because I know before we get to Charlotte, Orlando, I know you guys are both Celtics fans.
Right.
Had that been a fully healthy Joel Embiid, how nervous would you be as Celtics fans facing a fully healthy 76ers?
Fully healthy Joel Embiid? To be honest with you, I might be like 65. Yeah, 65% worried, not really. But I'm still thinking more than 6 games.
Here's the thing. Embiid's been injured so much, his body is just probably giving out on him.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that guy's got much left in the tank to give.
He just got his pancreas removed or something like that.
Appendicitis. His appendix was moved. Last year it was another injury. The year before that, or the year before that, it was another. I mean, the guy is just gets injured. And Paul George, what are we going to get from Paul George in the playoffs? I have no idea.
Yeah, we wake up and
he needs to go back to that time where he was playing with Russell Westbrook.
Yes, agreed.
We need to see that Paul George again.
But on to Orlando and Charlotte tonight. I mean, Charlotte showed how young they are tonight by not being able to solve what Orlando could give to them, because Orlando looked rough against Philadelphia. They came up to Boston last Sunday night and lost to a bunch of G League guys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Orlando was there ripe for the picking. And if Charlotte had gotten in the playoffs, watch out Detroit, because Charlotte would have given them a series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Orlando can give Detroit a series. There's just so many inconsistencies with that Orlando team. I have no faith that they can do anything against Detroit. But kudos to Orlando. They showed up tonight, and they played really well. And if they play that way in the playoffs, they're going to be a tough out. But I just have a feeling they're not going to play that way in the playoffs.
That's another big what if, is that if Orlando doesn't draft Paolo Banchero and instead goes with Chet Holmgren, Paolo goes to OKC.
Ooh.
Man. Ooh. And here's the thing. Paolo's been dealing with a lot of injury stuff, especially the last couple of years. We remember how hot he started last year before he got hurt. If he's fully healthy the last 2 years, this Orlando team is one of the sneaky good teams in the Eastern Conference, and they're definitely going to be a tough out. But, right now, I really don't see them. They could probably get a gentleman's sweep out of Detroit. Mm-hmm. But I really can't see it going farther than that.
Yeah, man. I'm 100%.
That Desmond Bain trade is going to kill them. It just hamstrung them. It's going to kill them.
Oh yeah, no. That's where we get into some math right there. Because how many first rounders they gave up?
I think it's four. I think maybe 5.
Listen, and I'm not saying Desmond Bain is not that guy. When they did the math, they thought, hey, look, Desmond Bain plus Paolo Banchero plus 2 Franz Wagner brothers, that has got to equal not needing that first round pick, and it's looking like maybe they're a guy or 2 short. Because and I'm saying this, with all my heart, I think the Orlando Magic have the mix. Like, it's very similar to if the Houston Rockets did not have Kevin Durant. They have a similar lineup in which they can put out and assemble, which all the guys are above 6'8", 6'7". Everybody's there, except for Desmond Bain. That's it. Jalen Suggs defense, Desmond Bain 3-point shooting and defense, Wendell Carter Jr. he's a hit and miss, but he can go out there and play the 3 or the 4 or the 5. Franz Wagner 4 or 5, Paolo Banchero 3, 4, 5. But when I thought about them playing the Charlotte Hornets tonight, when I thought about it, this is before I watched it, I really thought this would be a great matchup for the Charlotte Hornets to take advantage of the mismatches that would be presented because they didn't have enough players to keep Con Knipple, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller all out of their spots, out of the areas that they like to shoot. And I was wrong. I'm about 20, 30 points wrong right now. But I think this is a big learning lesson, a big lesson learned for the Hornets. Hey, look, I think seriously, in all actuality, the highs and lows of the playoffs, you got to stay even keeled. And we all know, hey, look, was it a dirty play from when, LaMelo Ball grabbed Bam Adebayo's leg, lifted him up so Bam Adebayo could fall square on his tailbone without bracing himself?
Of course it was.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and say it. A cat is a cat. Cat ate the rat, and that was that. In real life, it's not the best move ever. You know what I mean? And for him to go on the podium and go, yeah, I don't know where I was at. What?
I mean,
I blacked out. I
blacked out. But you clearly saw his leg, though. You saw that.
The Lamar in him came out during that moment. I'm guessing. So I will say this though: if Charlotte continues to build the way they are, it's kind of starting to look similar to what Detroit did in the East. So if they continue this trend, I don't know how they're going to be able to keep LaMelo, but if they're able to keep this trend going, Charlotte might be one of the teams to look at in the Eastern Conference here in the next couple of years.
They're in the lottery, correct? With the loss tonight, they're in the lottery, right?
They're in the lottery, and I think
they're in the lottery. Now, if they ever get a top, if the ping pong balls ever fall right, and Charlotte gets a top 3 pick in this draft,
oh man, wow.
Holy moly. Right. They might not get Boozer, but the Banza or
together with LaMelo,
somebody like that, or Acuff to go with LaMelo Ball in the backcourt. Mm-hmm. Whoa, watch out for Charlotte if they ever get an Acuff next year.
Yeah,
that's a dangerous team.
This backcourt of Acuff, LaMelo, and White, Kobe White.
Kobe White comes off the bench.
Those three guys plus you get a couple more utility guys down there. That Charlotte team's going to be dangerous.
I really got a chance. I really got a chance to say, like, if they find, and in my mind, and I'm not knocking. What's my guy's name? I'm not knocking him. Musa Diabate. Yeah, I'm not knocking him. But if they find like a solid, if he does like some real growth. Let's just say that if he does some real growing, puts together a nice offensive package, he doesn't necessarily have to step away from the basket and be a 3-point shooter. But, maybe if he develops that a little more, I like what they got going on. I really do. And just like you said, ping pong balls fall the right way. They could end up with the 5th or 6th pick maybe and still get a steal of a guy, and really be building, because the whole thing is, I think that locker room is so young that you can't really put an older player in there. You can't really bring a veteran from another team. The veteran's going to want to change things. They're young.
I would say it kind of depends on the veteran, because you're right. There are some of those veterans that are like, I want to do this my way. I want to do this but if you bring the right guy in there, which is why I loved us bringing in Hartenstein, because he kind of fell in with the flow of what OKC is doing. So if you get a guy like that could go in there and play with Charlotte, that's going to be a huge benefit for them, because it's going to be like, hey, we're going to go with what y'all are doing, but if you ever need advice, just ask.
Yeah. They beat you. We know as Celtics fans, they gave the Celtics problems all year long. They beat the Celtics on the road. They beat the Thunder on the road. And I think they beat the Spurs on the road too.
There
Yeah,
was
they
a
beat
there was a
Spurs last
stretch where they beat like the Lakers, Golden State, the Spurs, us, you guys for like they won 8 straight games against tough level competition.
It would not shock me if next year they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Would not shock me.
Yeah.
If they have their heads on straight, Charlotte could be an Eastern Conference Finals team.
Semifinals for sure. Next year, semifinals type.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be mad about that. I would not.
Absolutely.
But as we look forward, right now, guys, there are a couple games on. I can't wait to see how they conclude, or there's one more game on, and I can't see the conclusion of it. Where right now the Warriors are taking on the Suns at the tune of 47-42, with the Suns in the lead at the moment. Right now, Jalen Green looking like
Phoenix.
he's about to go do his thing.
Goodbye, Phoenix.
Yeah, it's too close.
Goodbye, Phoenix.
Close.
Alan just said 10 minutes ago they were down by 11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's five now,
it's
right?
5.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Phoenix.
Get
Thanks
ready.
for coming.
1, 2, 3, Cancun.
1, 2, 3, Cancun. Pack your bags. You're going to Cancun.
Right.
Steph Curry's going to find a way to win the game in the fourth quarter.
So, guys,
no doubt.
let's take a peek at the stuff for tomorrow, which, in all actually, to be real, right? This is some pretty exciting basketball tomorrow afternoon. Let's start right here in the middle. We got on Prime Video Timberwolves at Nuggets, looking crazy, right? This is where the money is made right here, Scott. Timberwolves at Nuggets. We know early on every year somewhere these are two teams that don't like each other already.
Absolutely.
Nuggets eliminated the Timberwolves last year. Every once in a while we get to see Jokic get angry. The Jokic brothers in the arena make everything better. So I gotta say, I think this is one of the ones I really want to catch. Who is going to play a part in winning this game, or rather, really winning the series? Who's got to set the trend?
I will give you one player that I think is the key to this series. Aaron Gordon.
Oh yeah, I like that.
If he stays healthy, the Nuggets can win this series in 5 or 6. If he is hurt and limited and his minutes are down, it's going to be a 7-game series for sure. Aaron Gordon has to play big in this series for them to move on. Because Minnesota plays well against really good teams. It's the bad teams they play terrible against.
They play
so, yeah.
To me, I'm looking at Anthony Edwards, not because, I don't think he's going to have a bad series or anything, but I think it's starting to get to the point where where a lot of us in the community touted not only him as the face of the NBA, but the Wolves as the team to beat in the up and coming, and they still haven't really gotten past that threshold quite yet. And usually it's a Denver or an OKC or a Lakers on occasion that they have trouble with. They just can't get past these teams for whatever reason. If they lose this series, there's going to be a lot of questions around the Timberwolves. There's going to be a lot of questioning, is this working? Is it going the right direction? I think with Denver, you could say, well, as long as Jokic is there, the Nuggets are going to be fine because they have a top 3 player in the league, and Denver's proven that not only can they win a championship, but they can go deep in a playoff run. I think the Timberwolves need this series more than Denver does. So that's why I would say Ant-Man needs to show up, show out, and show why he's one of the best players in the NBA.
Yeah, I can honestly agree with both of y'all. Aaron Gordon, when they won the championship, was pretty much the best player on the court. That last name wasn't Jokic. Of course, we got Murray out here, pretty much in a full blown recovery state, coming off of injury last season when they really could have used him in his playmaking. But I really like Aaron Gordon out there on the floor. And then the offset of that is if Julius Randle does not look and play like Julius Randle should, or we think he should, especially when he's at the peak of his powers, I don't see it really going well for Minnesota at all. It can't be a 10, 12 point Julius Randle night. We got to get close to damn near 20 from Julius Randle, and there's got to be some good key rebounds in there because we sleep on the fact of how well the not the Warriors, but the Timberwolves look in transition. They got a great team when they're running, but who's going to get the board? You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be down the court, but somebody's got to get the rebound. And I'm looking for Julius Randle to get down there in the paint and battle a little bit, because we all know Jokic may get the rebound. He can, but he's oftentimes the recipient of the rebound straight to the outlet so he can run down the court. So Jokic may not even be around the rim, giving him the opportunity to get some more rebounds. So I like that one. Let's go ahead and jump to the 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock on Prime Video. We got Raptors Cavs. I like this one. And I'll start it off, man. I am looking for drum roll, please. Brandon Ingram, bro. Where's Brandon Ingram at these days? Brandon Ingram is out there in Toronto. He's dating Glorilla. He's out here living his best life, hanging with Scotty Barnes, playing defense. I don't know. I think because we live in America, we don't appreciate the Toronto Raptors enough. You know, the Cavaliers have been looking good. Don't get me wrong. The Cavs have looked excellent when you add James Harden. It's James Harden. You know, it's going to look good. It's going to look good, especially in the first round. But shout out to Bobby, shout out to Wildcard Mar, our guys from the Audible Sports Podcast and Game Time 216. What's going on, Big Mike? You know, they're big Cleveland guys. I don't want anything negative to happen to James Harden. But I think we are sleeping on the ability of the Toronto Raptors to defend and score points. That's all they do. Defend and run. That is their MO. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, mid-season when I did the stats, they led the league in like fast break, or they led the Eastern Conference in fast break points, because all they do was run and rebound. So I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, that on the big stage of Prime Video. Guys, who's on the other end of this one?
I'm not sleeping on Toronto. I lock it in. Yo, guys, I mean, I picked Toronto to 4-2, 4-3. I think Cleveland's going to have problems with Toronto. Toronto presents some certain problems to them. I think Brandon Ingram's going to have a good series. I just think that, you know, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, that duo can lead Toronto to one of these first two games upset win. So I think the series is going 6 or 7. And I don't think Cleveland's going to have an easy time at all in this series. I think it's going to be tough, grind it out, play your style type of game. I think Donovan Mitchell could struggle in this series, to be honest. So
as we all know, and I'm sure all of us watch Game Time 216, all of us watch Audible and everything Bobby does. One of the guys that he always brings up whenever he talks about the Cavaliers is Evan Mobley.
Yes.
This has to be Evan Mobley's series. I know James Harden's great. I know Donovan Mitchell's a superstar. But this is make or break for Evan Mobley, because Cavs fans are getting frustrated. And if he doesn't show out, they're going to be calling for him to either get traded or for the team to cut him or something. Because Cleveland fans are getting frustrated. And with Evan Mobley's talent, this team should be going farther than what they have been.
I mean,
now you have James Harden in there now, who's a great finisher, so it should help. But I still have to look at Evan Mobley and be like, all right, let's see what you can do in this scenario.
Yeah,
and let's see if you can go in there and get the job done. Because I kind of agree with Scott. I think Toronto's going to make this a series, and they have a chance to pull off an upset.
I'm
in there with that. Yeah.
I'm not sold on the Cavaliers. They've been too inconsistent all year long this year, and they have not been able to put teams away all year. I'm worried about the Cavaliers and their long-term success in the playoffs this year. Just worried.
I'll say this, man. Now that I got a chance to look it up, right now, top defense in the NBA, they're fifth best in the NBA. Opponents' points per game, they're 100 at 11.9. That's ninth best. So top 10 defense in the league. The strong overall net rating is big. Of course, the offensive rating is huge. The 15th in the league right now. Um, it's really all about the defense leading to the fast break. Right now, 8.8 steals per game, 4.8 blocks per game, strong rebounding numbers, 42 rebounds per game. This is where I really feel like they play defense, they rebound, and then they run. Brandon Ingram with 21 points, Scotty Barnes out here getting 7.5 rebounds. Assists per game is up for Scotty rebounds than it has been for the last 2 seasons. And then low key, somebody that I think most players forgot about because he was in a position of winning or a greater position of importance on another roster. But once again, finds a place to play. Emmanuel Quigley.
Yes.
Okay, I feel like this is going to be an Emmanuel Quigley, series right here. Where we're going to go. Well, we're going to start going. Well, who's guarding Quigley? And then of course, hey, if it's not Spider or James Harden, it's gonna fall apart. It's gonna fall apart quickly. Next, let's keep it going. Exciting game, exciting. One of the most exciting series in the whole entire playoffs, guys. I got to talk about it. My dad's here, Bernard the Knicks fan. Prime Video at 6 p.m. Hawks Knicks. I'm sorry, I might have to DVR this one. I'm sorry. I know it says don't record it, don't watch. The David Stern's gonna show up at my door and say, I saw you rewind it. But hey, Hawks Knicks, no Trae Young this time, no Ice Trae, but still a very cold place to play when the Hawks show up to Madison Square Garden. Right now, the Knicks are 30-10 at home. The Hawks are 22-19 away. This is one of those ones, guys, because the upset could be in the air. Hawks look extremely good. And when I say look extremely good, they are good, both on defense and offense. They're throwing guys out at you left and right. And, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I feel when we were talking about the Timberwolves series, guys, they are going to miss Nickeil Alexander-Walker in that series against the Nuggets because he's over here cooking right now in an Atlanta Hawks uniform. Okay, Jonathan Kuminga, when he does play, when he is available, is cooking when he is playing in a Hawks uniform. So Jalen Johnson, what did we see that come? Did we see this coming? I did. It's a whole other story when they're out there. But in the Garden, under the bright lights, sometimes some players joke. Just put it like that. You either get 50-point LeBron games or nothing. And that's what happens in the big city of New York with the Knicks. So I'm extremely excited. I can't really put a win on this one. My dad's here, so I'm gonna say I like it. I love it. We love the Knicks, right, Dad? He said, yeah. All right. So anyway.
Is it weird? Is it weird to me that since they traded Trae Young, the Hawks have gotten better?
They've gotten excruciatingly better.
It's like we kind of. I think when the trade was made, we said, "Oh, in a couple of years or so, the Hawks are going to be a team that kept." They're good now. They're good now. Like they can easily go into New York and make this a series. Like this is one of those teams where it's like they were in the bottom half of the conference for the longest time. All of a sudden, towards the end of the season, they start rising up. All of a sudden, okay, they're in the play at the top end of the play-in. Oh, they're the 6th seed, so now they don't even have to worry about the play-in. Oh, they got a decent matchup against New York first round. Are we sleeping on the Atlanta Hawks coming into this postseason?
I don't think. Yeah, that's a funny thing. I don't think we're sleeping on them, man. I don't think we are.
Not me. I picked the Hawks to win the series.
Wow.
The Hawks to win the series.
You picking them to win the series, but how many games? What you thinking?
Six. Wow. I just don't think the chemistry's right in New York. I don't. Mike Brown was. You got rid of Tibbs, who went deep in the playoffs. You hired Mike Brown. Was good, really good to start the season, and then all of a sudden something happened, and the chemistry just skidded. It just skidded. Karl Anthony Towns, there's something going on with him. I don't know what it is. He's not playing to the potential that he could play. He'll play really good some games, and then he'll just disappear in other games at stretches. Him and Brunson have this pick and roll that they've started to work on to date. They're really good at. But I think the Hawks are going to scout that out. I think the Hawks are going to say, we're not allowing the pick and roll to happen. And they will switch and they will do whatever they have to not allow it to happen. I think the Hawks are young. I think they're athletic. And I think Nickeil Walker is going to be the difference in this series. I think he plays really well. And I think the Hawks take down the Knicks in 6. If there's a top 4 team that is vulnerable to the upset, it's the New York Knicks this year. And nobody's giving the Hawks a chance. That's fine. Don't give the Hawks a chance.
And you know what makes it even funnier is that Danhausen cursed Stephen A. Smith today. So
yes,
that
so
might
that
might actually happen.
The Knicks are in trouble. But yeah, I think the Knicks are in trouble. In all honesty, I really think the Knicks are in trouble in this series. There's a reason why the Cavs
I thought was like,
play
even if they did win the series, I think it would have to go 7 for them to win the series. But they would probably get swept by Boston the next round if that.
I don't think Atlanta can win 2 games in Madison Square Garden. I think they would have to win 1 and go back and
I think they would have to win game 1. If they win game 1, they're definitely winning the series.
And they're live for game 1. And they are live for game 1.
It's only a 5. It's only a 5.5. It's only a 5.5 point spread right now.
Yeah, I took the Hawks to win the series, and I took the Hawks to plus 5.5 tomorrow. I think they're going to keep it close.
So crazy thing, right? All right. So the analytics model, league-wide, favors the Knicks. Why? Because of defensive consistency, half-court scoring reliability, and better clutch time metrics, both of which revolve around who? Jalen Brunson. Top 10 defense, top 12 net rating for the Knicks, and the middle of the pack net rating for the Hawks will also lead more so towards the Knicks. Right now, the matchup edge is where it gets interesting because, of course, Jalen Brunson is a crazy nightmare at the point of attack when it comes to Atlanta defending it. Knicks on the defensive glass, on the offensive glass, they have a big thing. And right now, what we can say for sure is that Kuminga changed the defense on the Atlanta Hawks. Now, is it for the better? You can pretty much say the yes, but the idea is the swing factor of them no longer having the whole, what they call, well, I guess what would be considered the swing factor, which was Trae Young being in an away stadium, in an away arena, and all of a sudden, draining high efficient 3-point shots or low efficient 3-point shots, taking momentum away from the other team. I think that's a big thing. Are the new Hawks efficient in scoring though? Yeah. Oh, they're really good at it.
Yeah.
I just want to see what this young team looks like in this pressure cooker of an arena. And Scott, you said it. What, 5 or 6 games? Somewhere in what happens, will we get an opportunity to see, someone like Nickeil Alexander-Walker step up, big time and drain, some game winners, to show how clutch he is? I think there will be an opportunity. But if it's, game on the line, tie right now, I still got to go with Jalen Brunson because it's proof,
Absolutely. I think the one number you need to look at in this series, Kuminga, Jalen Johnson, and Walker need to score 70 points combined, at least, for the Hawks to have a chance to win the game.
Yeah, that's a big number, and again, a lot of that 70 is going to be dependent on Kuminga if he can figure it out.
Exactly.
And last but not least on the docket, gentlemen, we may be seeing the one of our favorite matchups to happen in the last 10 years. The Rockets and the Lakers. Once again, we get to see LeBron James try and strap it on, put on that coat, put on that cape, put that headband on, and try and lead his team to the promised land as they take on the Rockets, led by Kevin Durant, who just seems to be like the ageless wonder, so to speak. If LeBron is ageless, Kevin Durant is next. This is, I don't know, man. This is unfortunate. Let's just put it like that. Like we're gonna call it. It is what it is. You know, right when they were doing the best playing that they had all season, right? The best record in I think a 10 or 12 game span at the time. We lose not one but two superstars on the list. Two. Luka being out indefinitely, I think, is the scariest thing because we've all seen that, and this is not a negative, that when it comes to things like this, Luka takes his health first.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't the team's just gonna lose. Okay. Do I want to play? Of course I want to play, but I'm gonna just wait till next season. Like Luka will do that. But to see to get and I'll say it like this. I watched the podcast with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, and KG made the analogy of the Jesse the Body Ventura in Predator, and using the minigun and just letting it rip. You know, go out blazing. If LeBron gets 50 and they lose, hey, so be it. You know, if he's got to do 54 times in a row, 25, 30, hey, so be it. I'm so sorry. It's LeBron. There's no Luka. You know, there's no AR. What else? What are we holding on to? Nothing. Just play. You know, and we don't even have to talk about the Rockets really, because this is set up for if the Rockets lose, it's all their fault. Let's put it like that.
No question.
It's all their fault.
You mean Udoka's getting fired if the Rockets lose to the Lakers?
He's getting fired at halftime if they lose.
Here's what I will say. If the Lakers can steal one of the first two games and Luka comes back in game 3, watch out Rockets. And if Luka's anywhere near what he was during the season, the Rockets have no chance to win the series.
Absolutely not. None.
But if Luka is out for the series, it doesn't matter what LeBron does. The Rockets are not going to lose this series.
Yeah.
If you are the NBA marketing team, you are heavily rooting for the Houston Rockets because obviously these stories write themselves. They want to have Kevin Durant go back to OKC for a postseason series.
Oh, that's right.
Ooh.
They want to have Kevin Durant go back to OKC for a postseason series.
Wow.
Just imagine the crowd reaction.
That's a good one.
With Kevin Durant coming back into OKC for the first two games.
Does the NBA reseed after the first round?
Mm-mm.
They don't.
So
okay.
if the winner of the Lakers Rocket series would play the winner of OKC, and I think the winner of tonight's game,
it's going to be OKC,
which will be the
OKC.
So that would be the case, and then you would get also the Western Conference will be must-see TV if that happens. Because you would potentially get Denver, San Antonio, which is a Western Conference Finals series in and itself.
Right.
Plus, you would get Kevin Durant going back to OKC. So you would get much must-watch basketball if that was. So yes, the NBA is heavily rooting for Houston. They are hoping that that LeBron doesn't turn back the clock, which LeBron's probably going to be like, you know what? I don't care about your story. I'm going to go out there and be who I am, which is one of the best players to ever play the game of basketball, and go steal the spotlight. Because like you said, Scott, if they win game 1 or game 2 and Luka comes back, going back to LA,
watch out.
The Lakers are gonna steal this series from Houston. And while Laker fans will be great, the NBA market might not be so happy.
But we've seen it all year. You can't trust the Rockets. In situations, you can't trust the Rockets. And that's the problem. Is if what I said pans out, the Rockets will shoot themselves in the foot. And they'll lose the series. Yeah.
And lose game 1, or in something crazy. Or lose game 3, flip home court around, give it back to the Lakers. Something crazy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And when at the beginning of the year when we were talking about the Rockets and oh my God, they're gonna put out, Kevin Durant and they're gonna put him out. Oh, everybody's above 6'8". Look at this lineup. That didn't mean diddly squat. Not nothing. No. But and I am a Emmanuel Udoka fan of, because of course, he could
I
have
am
been
too.
coaching the Celtics had he not
I am too.
had some inappropriate dealings. But
Yep.
once again, this is a basketball show. I don't care about your personal life. It's more so to me, I really feel like they miss Fred VanVleet so much, there's nobody to clearly designate where the ball needs to go, and then if the ball can't go where it needs to go, give it back to me and I'll score the bucket. It's like find Kevin Durant eventually. That's the offense. Find KD eventually. You know what I mean? But I think it's like that because Kevin Durant is mentally going, hey, look, I can score. You can give it to me. Because he is Kevin Durant. He does know how good he plays. And he does feel confident no matter where he is on the floor. But that also takes away from, some of the visibility of these other guys who throughout the season have been working their butts off, doing well. And I'm talking about, Clint Capella's been around, but he does come in. He is serviceable when he is available. But somehow, some way, Jabari Smith Jr. I thought this was going to be his year. Alpha Şengün.
I love
Şengün is out here going crazy.
Okay.
I love Şengün.
I love it.
And the list goes on and on. JD Davidson, this is a roster built to win right now, especially when you look at the bench. You can pull somebody in like Dorian Finney-Smith, who can not only guard but shoot. Josh Okogie, who could do the same thing. Like it's really made to win, but somehow, like you said, Scott, they end up shooting themselves in the foot, and it turns on itself, man. But for the most part, we got this. There's nowhere else to pick. If it goes 7 games, LeBron did the best he could.
Yep.
6 games, LeBron did it. 5 games, LeBron did the best he could. Gentlemen sweep, LeBron did the best he could.
LeBron's going to average 30 points in this series.
Definitely,
he's going to average 30.
30 points.
Because he's going to be the only star. He's going to be only superstar healthy to play in the series.
Yeah, Hachimura is not great. Then they got these Laravia and all these other. Nah.
Yeah, Laravia.
Yeah.
What's DeAndre Ayton.
Hachimura, Ayton, Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart. Now, Marcus Smart, I can't lie. You can see the Marcus Smart addition paying off because he goes out there and he'll get a steal immediately. He'll go out there and lock somebody up for a short period of time.
Yeah. I think DeAndre Ayton is the key to the Lakers this year. If he doesn't step up and play like he's capable of, and Luka doesn't come back, forget it. Forget it. Yeah.
It's a wrap.
It's funny how at the beginning of the season we all pegged the Houston Rockets to be where San Antonio is right now because of the moves that they made, the roster that they built. They're like, okay, this is the team that we feel can challenge OKC.
Yeah.
And now here they are. They are playing a Lakers team that while they had a great run towards the late of the season, the injuries are going to come back to bite them potentially. And, we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. And then maybe you get that showdown with OKC in round 2. So, yeah, I agree with you too, Scott. They've been inconsistent all season long, to the point of where it's like, San Antonio is more of a surprise, yes, but we all know how great Wemby is, so we kind of expected to see it. But we're kind of disappointed in Houston because we felt like they should have been that team this year, and they weren't.
Right.
Well, guys, it's a great thing that we've got so much time and so much basketball to watch because if not, we got a moment where we could take a break and go check out the second half of this game, which is on currently. Right now, Phoenix and Golden State is right at all going after halftime, 7 minutes and 52 into the third. We got 53-64. Yeah, 53-64 right now. Looking like the game is still too close for you to think that you beat Steph Curry. Anyway, guys, man.
Bye, Phoenix. Bye, Phoenix.
Bye, Phoenix. Goodbye.
See you in Cancun.
But right now, guys, man, I just want to tell you, both of you, thank you for showing up. And let's talk a little hoops right now. Don't forget, everybody, Thursday, the 23rd of April, we are returning back to ESPN 690 on draft night. So we're going to have a big show, A lot to talk about, and we can't wait to see you there. Uncle Scott, you got something to say before we get out of here?
No, I'm a mini slice of life tonight. Anybody that you have that's a loved one, that check on them, make sure they're all right, tell them you love them, because tomorrow's a never given, and you don't know when you're gonna see them again. So just tell everybody you love them and your family. Hold them close. Keep them in your mind and prayers, thoughts. So
great addition right there, Scott. Thank you. Alan, what about you tonight, man?
Yeah, I definitely second that because life's too short to be worrying. Always spend as much time with your family as you can.
Yeah, and I'm right here in the Vicks, man. My dad's here, so I'm blessed to still have him. My son would have been here, but magically he had an allergic reaction to coconut water. Who knew that anybody in my family was allergic? Yeah, the magic. My son's mother was sending me pictures of him with a swollen face and hives and all kinds of crap. So he was in the emergency room last night. So he's not down here to hang out with me and celebrate our other son BJ's birthday. So it's all good. Hug your family, call your family, kiss them while you got them. Think about the good time. And if you get another opportunity to have another good time, do that. No matter where they are, have another good time. And in the end, guys, hey, it's your boy K Witch, I was #1 draft pick. That is Uncle Scott. That is also AP Alan Perales. We are in the building. Once again, don't forget, next week, Thursday, on the 23rd, we'll be on ESPN 690. Join us as we revisit our favorite moments in sports from before we left and happening right now. And again, peace and good.